Hey everybody, another GMG review. We're back with part 3 of my Warhammer the Horus Heresy LIBER Mechanicum review. This is the Questoris households. We've already been through the main Mechanicum army list and the Titan legions, and we're ending off with probably the easiest army out of all of the 3 army lists in here to play, with just contemporary plastic miniatures from the current Warhammer 40,000 line, and that's the Knight households. Now there's 2 ways to take these models. You either take them as an allied Lord of War detachment, or entry in the standard detachment for Mechanicum forces, so you can just take a Knight Titan and throw it in if you want. Or you can play a Questoris household, and if you do so, you're either an allied or traitor house fighting either alongside the Mechanicum or other allied forces inside the 2 different factions, the traitors and the loyalists. So it's pretty simple. You also get an allied detachment. So the core detachment is for every 2 troop choices you take, and then that's all Armigers. You can take 1 Lord of War. So basically you have to have your footmen for each of the knights. So for instance, I have 4 Armigers. I could take 2 Knight Titans to go with my 4 Armigers and have my core. Now you can also take an allied detachment, and it's any ally you want. So like my Raven Guard could ally with them, and I'd have an HQ up to 4 troops, elites, 2 elites of fast and heavy that I could take on top of that. So I really like this one. This one's very, very easy to mix and match with the current Horus Heresy plastic range, and the models, with the exception of some of the bigger knights, you could use nothing but the plastics and have a fairly decent flexible army list. It does include rules for all of the Forge World Knights too, and Knight Titans, including some of the big guys. So yeah, get ready to play with those as well. But that means that you're effectively only ever going to have 4 knights in this. 4 knights and 8 troop choices, 8 Armigers. But let's take a look at those. So the Warglaves and Helverins, the standard plastics currently available. Movement 8, weapon skill, blitz skill 4, strength up to 7, 6 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 7, and 3+ save. So skirmisher and line, which means they can hold objectives. They're very important. Armiger Talons means if you take more than 1 in a unit, they have to deploy together, but they can leave each other after that. They're Fleet 2 and move through cover. Fleet 2 adds their initiative when they're making reactions and runs. And then you get a Reaper Chainblade, a Heavy Stubber, a Thermal Lance, and an Ionic Deflector. The Ionic Deflector, I believe, is a 4+, 5+ invulnerable save. And any time a model with this takes a wound, gains the Eternal Warrior. So in addition, with a model with loses its last wound, before it's removed as a wreck, all models within D6+3 take a Strength 8 AP-hit. It blows up when it dies. And then the Thermal Lance is like a mini melt-a-gun, or a slightly bigger melt-a-gun actually. It is Thermal Lance. Those are auto weapons. It's the next page. 36-inch range, Strength 8, AP 2, Heavy 2, Armorbane Melta, and Twin Link. So not AP1 Melta Cannon. And the Reaper Chainblade, which is fun. Reaper Chainblade. Strength 9, AP 2, Melee Shred, with his 3 attacks. And you can take a Meltagun for its Heavy Stubber for 15 points. And the Helverin is 2 Phaeton autocannons instead of the thing. And you can take AP and Ignis rounds. So Strength 7, AP 3, Heavy 2, Sunder, Rending 6+, or Strength 7, AP 3, Heavy 2, Ignore Cover, Rending 6+. Up to 3 more for 200 points each, and they can also have Meltaguns for 15 points. All right, and then this is the end of the plastics, but probably the most flexible profile in here. It's the Build Your Own Knight Questoris. So any plastic Knight Questoris. For some reason, the Dominus Knight isn't in here. So you can't make a supersized knight. You can only make the basic size one. 380 points. He comes with a Reaper Chainsword and a rapid fire battle cannon, a mounted Heavy Stubber, and an Ion Shield, which is the 4+ invulnerable save, and a 5+ against shooting attacks on the side. So 4+ against the front, 5+ against the side. Interestingly, the Deflector is against everything. He's movement 10, weapon skill, blitz skill 4, strength 8, 13, 12, 12, initiative 4 with 3 hull point, or 3 attacks and 7 hull points. And he's a vehicle knight. So that Reaper Chainsword's pretty sweet. Reaper Chainsword, it's like strength 10, AP 2, melee shred, and then the rapid fire battle cannon is inches, 48-inch range, strength 8, AP4, ordnance 2, large blast 5+. So it punches out a lot of shots. You can take a Thunderstrike Gauntlet or an Avenger Gatling Cannon with a built-in heavy flamer in exchange for the one arm. So the Avenger Gatling Cannon is strength 6, 36-inch range, strength 6, AP4, heavy 12, rending 6+. And then the Power Fist, if you want to take that, is Reaper Chain Fist, Chain Sword, Chain Fist, Chain Bayonet. Where are you? Paragon Blades. Are these all chain weapons? Oh, they're all chain weapons. Thunderstrike Gauntlet, strength 12, AB2, melee Sunder. You can also take a Thermal Cannon, Las Impulsor, if you want, and then you can also take a mounted multi-laser or front-mounted Meltagun, Icarus Autocannon Pod, Iron Storm Pod, or Storm Spear Pod. So just build your own knight. So if you just want to use the plastic knights and the armigers, you have a legit army of Questoris knights. And then we get into the resin stuff, like the Lancer. He's got a Shock Lance and an Ion Gauntlet Shield. The Ion Gauntlet Shield is no joke. 5+ invulnerable save against shooting attacks, and a 5 from front and side, and a 5+ invulnerable against all melee attacks. He's the same core stat line, but with 4 attacks, initiative 4 and 7 hull points. He's got flank speed as his special rule. What does flank speed do? Flank speed. A model with this special rule may increase its movement distance by 4 inches in any movement phase, but it does so it can't make any shooting attacks. Note this model may still charge in the assault phase, in addition when declaring a charge after making... So basically he can run. In addition, when declaring a charge after making a shooting attack, a model with the special rule may charge a unit that it did not target in this turn's shooting phase, provided it meets all the other valid criteria for a charge. And then his arm-mounted Shock Lance, because he's a melee monster. A Shock Lance is strength 10 AP2, melee, reach 1, and Exoshock 5+. The Castigator has a Tempest Warblade, an Ion Shield, and a Castigator Bolt Cannon. The Castigator Bolt Cannon is 36-inch range, strength 4, AP, strength 6, AP4, heavy 18, pinning, shell shock 1, twin link. That's a horrifying gun. And then the Ion Shield's the 4+ from the front, 5+ from the sides, and the Tempest Warblade is strength 10 AP2, melee, Deflagrate, and Tempest. What does the Tempest special rule do? QRST. Instead of making a melee attack, a model of this weapon with this special rule may make a special attack at initiative 2. This automatically inflicts a single hit against every model, friendly, and enemy in contact with their base. So they turn on the lightning, basically. The Knight Acheron. He's got a Reaper Chain Fist with built-in heavy bolter, arm-mounted Acheron Flame Stored Cannon, and Ion Shield. He's also got flank speed. Same core stats as all the big tall knights. The Reaper Chain Fist. What do you got going on, Chain Fist? Reaper Chain Fist. Strength 10 AP2, melee, it's got Armor Bane instead of Shred. And then the Acheron Flamestorm Cannon. Hellstorm, Ordnance 1, Shred, Strength 7 AP4. The Acasis Knight Porphyrons. Now the Porphyron is the Giganto Knight, 625 points, 9 hull points, 625 points, sorry, 14, 13, 12. Catastrophic Explosion, it will not die 6+. Movement 12, weapons go skill 4, strength 10. 2 hull-mounted twin-linked Magna Las Cannons. So a Magna Las Cannon, that doesn't sound good right from the get-go. Magna Las Cannon is 72-inch range, strength 10 AP2, ordnance 2, large blast 5+. And he's got 2 of those. So 4 large blasts. Mounted autocannon, mounted Iron Storm missile pod, and an Ion Shield. He is horrifying. Give him a Hyperios Warhead missile launcher, a Whirlwind missile launcher if you want as well. And he can exchange his autocannons for Irad Cleansers or Las Cannons. The Questoris Styrax is the Mechanicum style knight, 380 points. He's got the core Mechanicum style line. He's got overtaxed reactors, just like the one in the main army list. And Night Vision, Reaper Chainblade, the Kira Veil Volkite, the big Volkite gun, and a mounted Graviton gun and Iron Shield. And you can give him the Siege Claw. The Siege Claw is pretty cool. It is, the Siege Claw is under big hand weapons. The Siege Claw, Aerial Power Claw, Siege Claw. ×2 strength, AP2, melee, brutal 2, sunder, and wrecker. It does all the jobs, so it's no big deal. Just strength 16. Oh my god. AP2, brutal 2, sunder, and wrecker. And then the Questoris Knight Megara also has the option for the Siege Claw. It's the other version of this. It's got the lightning cannon instead, and the lightning cannon is pretty cool. It's under the arc weapons. 36-inch range, strength 7, AP3, heavy 1, large blast 5, rending 4+, shred, and exoshock. Horrifying. 0 to 1 Atropos. These are the rarer knights now, so they're all limited to a single one. Not that you'd have that many. 500 points. 8 hull points is big difference in strength 9. He's got catastrophic destruction, so when he blows up, flank speed, macro extinction targeting protocols, and night vision. He counts as twin linked when he's shooting. And then arm-mounted Atropos phase cutter. What's an Atropos phase cutter? Oh, it's probably a melee weapon. Atropos phase cutter. It sounds like it's a melee weapon. I don't know for sure though. Maybe not. Graviton. Oh, there it is. Phase cutter. Strength 10 AP1. Melee, cumbersome, armor bane, instant death. Just causes instant death. No big deal. And a singularity cannon, which is the big graviton gun, and an ion shield. It's the crawling death graviton pulse, or graviton storm, the big one. And then the Acasis Knight Asterius is 14, 13, 12 with 9 hull points, initiative 3 and 3 attack, strength 10. It's got a catastrophic explosion and it will not die, 6+, and night vision. 2 arm mounted twin linked heavy conversion beam cannons. The mounted Karaknos mortar battery, which is a horrifying missile weapon. 60-inch range, strength 6 AB4, heavy 1, blast 7 inches, barrage, fleshbane, radphage, ignore cover, pinning, shell shock 3, and crawling fire. You're going to be pinned and you're going to be dead, and it's going to crawl over you. It's got culverins and an ion shield for the 4+, 5+. All right, now's the interesting stuff. So tailor making your household, you can give everybody household ranks. So this is basically giving a job to each of the knights. Most of them make them characters. Some of them are actually downgrades to save you some points and just characterfully like fill out your army. So you can have 0 to 1 Seneschal. You basically become the leader. Weapon skill and ballistic skill increased by 1. In addition, if the Questoris detachment is the primary detachment of the army, then they may be the warlord and they gain the Master of the Household warlord trait. Any friendly model with the vehicle unit type and the knight subtype with an aid of the warlord may make reactions as per the standard rules, ignoring the usual restrictions for knights and titans. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait make an additional reaction during the shooting phase. So normally your knights can't do that because they're vehicles. These guys can. Because they're knights and titans, these guys can because they have a leader nearby. That's 80 points. Now in Arbalesters, 55 points. You get as many of these as you want. Ballistic skill goes up by 1. They gain the character unit subtype and the Arbalester rule. They can roll an additional scatter die and choose which one they like. For 30 less points, you become an aspirant and you lose a ballistic skill and weapon skill, and your movement goes down by 2 because you're just learning the ropes. For 55 points, you can be an Octeller. And remember, this is only knights, not, you can't give this to Armigers. Gains a weapon skill of +1 in character, and then the Octiller rule. When engaged in a challenge against an enemy unit with the Knight, Titan, or Monster unit subtype, the Primarch unit type, or a model with a wounds characteristic of 8 or higher, a model with this rule has +1 weapon skill and +1 attack. This bonus goes to +1 in addition from the Octeller upgrade above. So basically it's +2 overall. And then Dolorous for 35 points. You get +1 weapon skill in the character subtype, and then you become Dolorous. A model with this special rule may attempt to make a sweeping advance as an exception to being a knight, because normally you can't. Implacable for 65 points. A model with this upgrade increases its hull points by 1, gains the character unit subtype and Implacable special rule. And Implacable, no attack targeting a model with this special rule may inflict more than a single hull point of damage, and including those attacks with the Exoshock rule. A Preceptor, get +1 ballistic skill and the character unit subtype, and any units of Warglaives or Helvern Armigers that have at least one model within 6 increase their leadership to 9. And then finally, Ulan, for 30 points, you get your movement increased by 4 and gain the character unit subtype and scout and outflank. And a Castus Knight Porphyrion can't be given this upgrade, so no making your Porphyrion faster. And Knights in the character unit subtype means you can issue and accept challenges, except when the enemy unit includes at least one model with a Knight, Titan, or Monster unit subtype. While engaged in a challenge, a model with the Knight and character unit subtype may not leave combat or the challenge and may not make stomp attacks. You're too busy fighting the little guy. All right, and then your unit types. So the Armiger unit type and the Knight unit type are the important ones in here. So for Armiger, Knights in the core rulebook actually. Successful wounds scored by attacks with poison and flesh gain must be re-rolled. All Armiger models have the stubborn special rule. A model with the Armiger unit subtype may fire all of its weapons they are equipped with in each shooting attack, including as part of a reaction, so you don't lose them for being you're like a pseudo vehicle, you're like a dreadnought. And no model that is also an Armiger that is not also Armiger may join a unit that contains Armiger models. And that's it. So the most sort of plausible plastic army right now is probably this one. Is probably the Questoris household, because you could. I have 4 Armigers. I'd consider making it, because I could take 800 points of Armigers as my troops. I have 4 troop choices, and then 2 Questoris Knights, like all kitted out with guns and stuff like that, and some upgrades. I'd have 6 models in the army, and I'd have like a legit, roughly probably 700 points, and then just take a little allied detachment of like Space Marines to go with it. So I see this one getting made a lot out of this book, and in fact, unless you're trying to take a Praevian, Legion Praevian, to get your Castellax and Vorax battle automata into your Legion army for the Legion's Cybernetica, this is probably going to be the most popular second army, because it lets you take knights to the table. I love that the pictured knight in here, I'm pretty sure, is the Horus, the Titanicus one. I'm pretty sure it's the little teeny tiny one, which I think is awesome. So there you go. The character upgrades are cool. Obviously, you can be a loyalist or a traitor. There may be more stuff for like House Divine in the future, which I think would be super cool if they expanded this. But overall, Liber Mechanicum looks like fun. It's a mid-sized expansion, only 124 pages. But it brings other stuff than Space Marines into the game. And I think that's important, because then all of a sudden you have a Horus Heresy where there's more than just Space Marines fighting Space Marines, and it makes the table look really good and adds some more wacky and cool units. So I'm excited for the prospect of maybe someday plastic Mechanicum troops out of Forge World. For right now, you can definitely take some Castellans from the Mechanicus army and convert them if you want to use your Legion Praevian, and take some Cybernetica stuff. And obviously the Knights are readily available to paint up and play out of this book too. So big thanks for watching. We'll see you for more GMG reviews in the future. Till then, I'm Ash. Happy gaming. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job, so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon, who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements, like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching. It really does help out, and happy gaming.